Hello, this is Yogeshu 7000 again, and I'm back with another very interesting topic on Vedic astrology. And today we'll be talking a little on remedial measures. And one of the things which is extremely important is, and which is used for remedial measures, or as a remedy rather, is the use of Beeja Mantras. Now, mantras, as we all know, what is a mantra? Beej is a Sanskrit word for a seed. So as we know that a seed, when you use a seed, it grows into a tree, which could become extremely strong. So in the same way, a Beej mantra or a seed mantra is full of power. And there are various Beeja mantras or seed mantras which are used with the other mantras to give it additional power. So these are extremely important as far as fulfillment of desires is concerned, because as per Hinduism, the objectives of Hinduism is not to stay away from desires, but one should go after the rightful desires. So the four objectives of Hinduism are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and these form a very, very important part of the dharma, or the way of life of a person, as per the ancient scriptures and the shastras, and Hindus have been following that. So how do we use a seed mantra or a Beej mantra for fulfillment of desires? Well, first let's understand which is the basic seed mantra or the Beej mantra, and that is Om, and it consists of three letters, A-U-M, and that's how it is pronounced, Om. And it's not O-M as a lot of people just write it as O-M, but the real way to write Om is A-U-M, and the sound A starts from the throat and comes as far as the lips, and then after the sound of A, the letter M is the sound produced when the lips close, and then in between is the letter U. So A-U-M forms the basic seed mantra, which is Om. Like I mentioned, A starts from the throat and goes up to the lips, and when the lips close, the sound M is produced, and in between is U. So as a result, Om has all the sounds within it which can be produced in this universe. All the sounds which can be produced in this universe is within the sound of Om, and that's why it is considered the basic seed mantra or the basic Beej mantra. And I just mentioned to you that the other Beej mantras or the other seed mantras are used to obtain your desire or fulfillment of your desires rather. So what are those Beej mantras, and what's its significance, and how can we use those Beej mantras for what we need in our day-to-day lives? And like I mentioned, it's not bad to desire something, because desire is a part of human existence. Without desires, there's no incentive to live. So we all have desires, we all have needs, and therefore one of the ways to fulfill our desires, go after fulfillment of these desires, is through the use of Beej mantras, and we're going to discuss that. So the basic mantra, Beej mantra, is Om, and it's further expanded in several other Beej mantras or seed mantras, whichever way you may like to call them. And let's start with a Beej mantra called Sham. And I know these are Sanskrit words. It is going to be very difficult for you to pronounce, especially if you're pronouncing it the first time. So Sham is one of the Beej mantras, and it's called the Narasimha Beeja. And people who are not familiar with Narasimha is a fierce incarnation of Lord Vishnu. And this bija, or the constant repetition of this bija mantra, removes all fears and sorrows. And before I even go into the mantras, I'm going to tell you that, look, there's a warning I'm giving you that these bija mantras should not be used without the guidance of an expert Vedic scholar. Because all this is coming from the Vedas. There are 4 Vedas, the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Samaveda, and the Atharva Veda. And the mantras, basically the mantras, the origin of the mantras is out of these basic Vedas, the main Vedas. That's where the origin is. And there are rules, there are regulations, there are rituals, there are ways, and only a Vedic scholar can tell you the right way to go about using these mantras, mixing it with the other mantras, using a Beej mantra and mixing it with the other mantras, how to get started, which way you should do it. And there are rules as to what rosary you should be using. There are rules in which direction you should be sitting. There are rules on what clothes you should be wearing. So it's pretty complicated, but I'm giving you the basic idea of what a Beej mantra is and what it is used for. But then once you start using it, you cannot start using it on your own. You have to go under the guidance of a scholar, a Vedic scholar who understands the use of these Beej mantras, because they're extremely powerful. Like I just mentioned, just like a seed can grow into a big strong tree. That's how powerful, that's an analogy, and that's how powerful these seed mantras are, because they are also like beejas, seeds, which can grow into something very strong, extremely strong. So we started with the first Beeja mantra, which is the Narsimha Beeja, and which is an intense, Narsimha is an intense form or an incarnation of Vishnu, and it's pronounced as Sham. And the purpose of this Beeja is that it removes all fears and sorrows. The other Beej mantra is I am. This is a Saraswati Beeja, and we know that Goddess Saraswati is the goddess of learning. And the purpose of this mantra is, or the use of this mantra is, it gives especially young boys and girls who are in college, who are studying, very good intelligence and ability to learn quickly. So the Beej mantra for that is I am, and that is a Saraswati Beeja. It is represented by Goddess Saraswati. And by the way, when you chant these Beeja mantras, you're actually invoking these gods, these energies which come with these gods. So when you use Sham, you're invoking the power of Narsimha. When you use I am, you're invoking the power of Saraswati. Now the third mantra, or the Beej mantra rather, this is not a complete mantra, this is a Beej mantra, and like I mentioned, it can be used as with a combination of other mantras. It can be put either before that mantra or after that mantra. So there's a combination, and there's a way which it should be used. So Shrim is a mantra of Goddess Lakshmi, and repetition of this mantra will get you prosperity, all kinds of prosperity, not just money. It's about prosperity, because Goddess Lakshmi is the goddess of prosperity. Then there's a Beej mantra called Hrim, and this is also called the Maya Beeja, and it's been described in Devi Bhagavad Purana. And constant repetition of this mantra will give you success in all fields, and you will be able to fulfill your desires. The other Beej mantra which we can discuss is Kleem, and this is a Kama Beeja, and Kama is a Sanskrit word for desire, and this Beeja mantra is used for fulfillment of your desires, your kamas, your desires. Cream is another Beeja mantra, and this is a Beeja mantra of Goddess Kali. And as we know, the Goddess Kali is the fierce form of the goddess who can destroy your enemies and ultimately leads you to bliss. Dum, this is a Durga Beeja mantra, and when you repeat this, when you recite this Beeja mantra, either alone as a Beeja alone, or in combination with any other mantra. You're invoking the energy of goddess Durga. And we know that Durga is the highest deity, and you can fulfill your desires based on, you know, what your legitimate requirements and needs are in this planet Earth. Glom is a Beeja mantra of Ganesha, and it removes all obstacles. Ganesha is, as we know, Lord Ganesha is known for removal of obstacles. So, you know, be you're maybe in a job or a business, self-employed, family matters, personal matters, health issues. If there is an obstacle, this Beeja mantra of Lord Ganesha, Glom, can remove all obstacles and give you success. And once again, I'm repeating, warning, please do not experiment with these Beeja mantras. They are extremely powerful. It has to be done under the guidance of an expert Vedic scholar. A lot of people go on the internet, they search, and they start repeating these mantras without using the proper rituals and the proper procedure, without following the proper procedure. As a result, it may give them negative results, so please don't try that. Then Lam is an earth Beeja. It's a Prithvi Beeja. Prithvi is a Sanskrit word for earth. Yam, that's an air Beeja, and in olden days it was used to get rains. Whenever there was a spell of dry and there was famines, then this Vayu Beeja, or the air Beeja, was helped get the rain clouds and get rain into that area. Then there are other mantras of Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, which are Beeja mantras as well. And this list can go on and on, but I wanted to bring to your attention some basic Beeja mantras which you can research also for yourself, and try to find a good Vedic scholar who can help you guide and use these mantras for your benefit, and of course for the benefit of mankind as well. So hopefully you did enjoy this video on Beeja mantras, and this is one of my videos on remedial measures related to Vedic astrology. And of course these mantras can be used in combination with your birth chart as well, because all these deities which I just mentioned, they're related to certain planetary energies as well, or certain planets as well. Like for example, Lakshmi, goddess Lakshmi, as for the sage Jaimini, she Lakshmi is related to the planet Venus. Similarly, Durga is for pacifying Rahu, and for Saraswati Beeja, there are other planets. So there are planets which are associated, like Ganesha is related to the planet Ketu. So there are planets also which are related to these deities, and these deities are related to these Beeja mantras. So there's a connection there. And say, for example, just to give you an example, if Ketu is troubling you, you go to Ganesha. If Rahu is troubling you, you go to Durga. This has been mentioned in the ancient scriptures. However, once again, please do not try it on your own. Do it under the guidance of an expert Vedic astrologer, or a Vedic scholar rather. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. In the meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel and check out my website. There is a link below, and I will see you in continuation to my other videos on Vedic astrology, and I will see you with an interesting topic very soon. Goodbye.